My story begins with my parents. My mother was a very high-ranked demon. Our clan would hunt down mighty, fearsome, or powerful creatures to capture their hearts and devour them. The clan chief, my grandma, sent my mother to the overworld on a special hunt to capture a pure heart. My mother hunted down this being, an elf, but little did she know that the hunter would become the prey. She tried to befriend him, to seduce him. Instead, she found him incorruptible, and she found her own heart thumping just at the thought of him. She fell for him and allowed herself to be with him, trying to capture his heart in another way. They spent months together on Earth before my mother was forced back down to hell by the clan chief. Initially punished and arrested for being corrupted, it was then discovered that my mom was pregnant. The clan argued amongst themselves before pressuring the chief to give the daughter a chance. Eventually, she relented and agreed to allow the child to be born and trained to hunt. My parents would stay together, but they were kept at arm's length from most other members. I was raised with the other children in the clan. I was always treated a little different from the others. The acceptance they showed my mother changed when I was born. Most other demons always looked at me with a sneer. They still taught me how to hunt and live like the rest of them, but I was usually sent to hunt by myself. Since I was always treated so differently, my mother gifted me a guardian. His name is Lumi, and we've been together since I was a newborn. We grew up together, and he always had my back during our hunts. He's my best friend, and we always keep each other safe. Since I wasn't welcome in the clan, the chief agreed to allow my mother to send me away. She decided that the overworld wasn't the best place to send me. The elves wouldn't want me, just like the demons didn't. Instead, she sent me to a neutral world, the world of the humans. My mother felt it was my best chance to live a good life. They sent me away with a ritual, sealing my powers to prevent me from returning or even contacting my home. They separated me from Lumi and chained him up with my mother. And so, I arrived on Earth in the middle of a field of flowers. I had no sense of direction. This world was completely alien to me. I wandered from field to forest, hunting small prey to survive. Eventually, I stumbled across a village. At first, people looked over at me with curiosity. Upon seeing my horns and my tail, they realized I wasn't human. Some of the braver humans recoiled when I smiled at them, and they noticed my fangs. I tried to talk to them, but between cries of confusion and threats to leave them alone, I became convinced I should give up. As I walked further towards the setting sun, I remember hearing the shouts of children as they threw rocks at me, their ignorant courage not realizing I could end them all if I wanted to. Most other settlements were the same. Small towns in the countryside seemed to already know I was traveling in their direction. I gave up trying to find a home. Instead, I retreated to the forest and made myself a shelter, and waited. Days, weeks, months went by. I was alone, hunting and fishing to survive. I missed my parents. I even missed the clan that shunned me. I was too timid for demons, but too frightening for humans. On the night of a full moon, I lay in my bed of leaves. I watched the reflection of the big ball in the sky against the pond I'd set up camp by. Rustling perked my ears. Despite the dark, I could see a fluffy blob emerging from the bushes. My guardian had escaped the depths of hell to find me on Earth. Finally, my best friend had found me again. He comforted me. We danced in the night. He even tripped and fell into the pond. It had gone completely soaked. But then he flew out of the water, shaking himself dry. He put his paws into the middle of the water and reaped a seeping red gash that let flickers of fire fly through the cold air. I can't go home, I told Lumi. They won't take me back. But he shook his head and beckoned me to look. It looked like hell, but it was different. A reflection of the forest I knew looked back at me through the pond's wound. Birds of flame flew through the sky. Trees made of clumped stone grew high into the sky. It was an uncanny mix. a strange oddity of the lives that lived on Hell and Earth. Lumi guided me forward. I stepped into the pond and went deeper inside. As my head submerged into the mix of dark blue water and glowing ember from the portal, I found my gravity shift as I walked back out the other side. He brought me to a new layer I'd never seen before, a level above Hell and a level beneath the earth. Just like me, right in between.